obviously you're 6 or so months into this sort of new era under your captaincy with a new culture. How do you think it's going so far? Like, is the culture where you want it to be? There are improvements to be made going forward?
Yeah, I think we're always looking for improvements, whether that's on or off the field. So certainly our culture we think needed some small tweaks, and I think it's something we always have to work at going forward as well. So there's no magic cure or anything like that. I think it's like no different to your cricket skills. I think culture is something you continually have to work on and keep trying to improve.
Is there a noticeable difference with obviously the personnel is very different now than what it was in South Africa? Is there a noticeable difference just in the feel and the culture in the team compared to what happened in South Africa?
Yeah, certainly, as I said, there's been small changes made on that front, there's also been some different players, there's different staff, so there is certainly a different feel around the group. Whether that's better or worse, it doesn't really matter. I think it's just going to happen when you have a changeover of players and a changeover of staff. So I know in Dubai we had 3 guys playing their first Test match, so there was that real feel of excitement around the group, and whilst it didn't go as well as we would have planned, there was some positives to take from that.
So if a cricket fan came up to you in the street and said, what does the Australian cricket team stand for? What would you say to them?
Yeah, well, at the moment, all we're trying to do is make Australians proud. I think that's the main thing. It's sort of a bit of a self-check thing for us. So with everything that we're doing, whether it be on the field or off the field, I think if you can ask yourself that question, am I making my fellow Australians proud? Then if you can answer that with a yes, then we're on the right track. So that's sort of mainly what's driving us at the moment.
So with the Pakistan series that just happened, obviously, a lot of the talk's been about, changing the culture, but did that series and the reaction to it emphasise the importance of winning as well? Like, do you think that overall Australian cricket fans just want you to win and behaviour second, or do you think it's the other way around?
No, what I realised from that Test series is how highly the Australian cricket team's held within the Australian public. I mean, you only have to look at the reaction we got from even a really hard-fought draw. We got a lot of great press from that, and a lot of great messages coming from our fans over to Dubai. So, that was, I think, the main takeaway is that the Australian cricket team is a really important part of Australia's make-up as a country, and we're really closely followed. And whether we win, lose, or draw, they want to see us do it the right way, and they want to see a team that fights to the last ball. So the first Test was great. I thought we did that. We were probably outplayed, but we managed to scrap a draw, and then disappointingly in the second Test, we got completely outplayed and didn't probably fight as hard as our fans would have liked us to. And again, we found out on the other side that it's just a really important thing to Australia's people and Australia's summer. So we've got a big job to make sure that sort of performance doesn't happen.
So what was the overriding emotion on the flight home from the UAE? Obviously you had, you were outplayed in both Tests, but you had that good fifth day and then lost the series. What was your overriding feeling when you left?
It was real disappointment for me when I left. Looking back to the first Test, that we did such a great job to get out of that with a draw, having been outplayed for the first few days, albeit sometimes over there when you win the toss, you're such a long way behind the 8 ball at the start of the game. So to get a draw out of that, and the way we went about our last few days was excellent. We thought we took a real step forward. Then to go to the second Test, lose the toss again, have them 5 for 50. I just sitting on the plane just thinking about that lunch break and what went wrong, because we started so well. We had the momentum from the first Test. Our bowlers did a great job in the first 2 hours. We had them right where we wanted, and unfortunately we let a huge opportunity slip, and they took control of the game from there.
Just going back to the culture thing, one of the things you've introduced has been the pre-series or pre-match handshake.
Yeah.
How has that been received, both from within your own team, players and coaches, and from the opposition as well? Yeah,
I think it's been received well. I haven't heard otherwise, but it's not. If people don't like it, they're probably not going to come to me straight away and say. But look, I just think it's a bit of a no-brainer. It's a bit of a show of sportsmanship, and that's about it. It doesn't mean we're going to be the nicest team in the world to play against by any stretch of the imagination. We're still going to be really competitive and really fierce out on the ground, but I think there's got to be that sort of respect between the two sides.
So have you had anyone say to you forget that, that's not necessary, you know, just play the game sort of thing?
No, not at this stage.
No?
I've had a few mates rib me about it, but that's about it.
What were they saying? Just
I think some people just took it the wrong way. I think they thought that means the Australian cricket team's going to be overly nice or you know, or a bit soft or whatever, but it's not that at all. It's just, as I said, it's about having respect for your opposition, respect for the game. But as soon as we cross the line, we're absolutely in it to win it.